Welcome, everyone. This is Brenda Selden. Welcome to the Traveler's Message and Healing Circle for tonight, March 9th, 2022. So a little bit about myself. I'm a channeler, and I've been in contact with interdimensional beings called the Travelers since 2013. And in 2017, they began to show themselves to me, and I began to photograph and videotape them. But what I do at the Traveler Circle is channel their messages for humanities, because they've come to Earth to help us evolve, to help prepare us to leave Earth and begin to create new home worlds on other planets and other systems. It's kind of a part of growing up. And they've told me that all civilizations do this. And I'm just going to talk for another minute or so, because I've noticed that some people takes them a minute or two to come on. And so what I've never mentioned before is that I do offer private healings with the travelers one-on-one, and you can find the link to that in my description box below. So welcome tonight. The topic tonight is the weaving of the threads of reality. So one of the things that the travelers have said to me is that they are masters of manipulation of energy. Now, the word manipulation has different connotations, and going to read the definition of manipulation. And again, for those just coming on, tonight's topic is about weaving the threads of reality. And I've started to say that the travelers have told me that they are masters of energy manipulation. Now, the word manipulation has its negative aspect, but the definition I'm referring to, according to the dictionary, is to manipulate is to handle or control a tool, mechanism, etc., typically in a skillful manner. So it's the ability to work with something skillfully, and that's what they were emphasizing. Now, not only did they say that they're masters of energy manipulation, but they said also that we have that ability as well. And that one of the things that stops us is our kind of stuckness to the idea that reality is solid and immovable. And so kind of being stuck with that idea and holding on to it doesn't allow for us to work with the reality of energy, where energy is very malleable. And so tonight I'm going to begin by offering a message from them, and they will be discussing this more and explaining. And then when we do the healing, you will see that there is a purpose for tonight's topic. Welcome, my fellow human travelers. We are happy to see you once more. We know that this has been a time of great difficulty for all of you, especially for your brothers and sisters in Ukraine. We know that this has been causing much suffering for Brenda, and we know that this is true as well for many of you. And so the reason we bring into being the topic of weaving the threads of reality is that reality is not a solid object. It is not something that is unchanging or immovable. It is much like a woven mat, a woven carpet, as you would have in your home. And yet it is stronger than that, and yet it is lighter and more movable than that, more flexible than that. And so when we work with the energies of Reality, it is not so much what is real, it is more the energies at hand that are currently in motion, much like the banks of rivers and streams. Some energy forms are set on their path and they can be moved, but the time to move them and shift them into different forms and different directions may take longer, while other energy forms can be shifted quickly. So an example of this is the following. If you were to trip and sprain your human ankle, in that very moment, you can shift the energies of the injury, of the pain, and quickly release it from your body and shift it quickly into healing, as opposed to the energies of an existing mountain that has been there for millennia. That will take longer to shift the mountain from being a mountain to being a forest, or being a mountain to being a meadow. And yes, that is all possible. What Brenda has been shown as of many years ago, and at that time she was not aware that we were the ones showing it to her, is that the human body and that of the body of any sentient being on this planet can be quickly healed and can be quickly rewoven. And so, for example, if a person were to lose a limb, such as an arm or a leg, yes, that limb, that leg can be rewoven back into reality because the energetic blueprint still exists around the area of the missing link, still exists within the body, still exists within the mind. And why do we say the mind? Because what you picture is what you can create. And so what you know more intimately and what you know more strongly and what you have more experience with will be, again, like that mountain, will be that stream of energy that has its strong directionality and has its strong path and is moving, constantly moving, whether that physical arm is there or not. The energy of that arm is there always. And so we remember how, as an example, we had shown Brenda a pet cat of hers that was very sickly. And we had shown her almost as though it's coming out of the ethers, a new cat could be created because her cat was very sickly. Now, at this time, that did not happen. Her cat did not live much longer, but know that this is a process of evolution. And when the seed is planted for the ability to manipulate the energies to these high degrees, it will come about. To the degree that it comes about is very much dependent on your own abilities and your own experiences. And what do we mean by this? We mean that your kind is born again time after time and retains some of their abilities from these past lifetimes, these past births. And those abilities can be built upon, and especially those of you that are star seeds, that have come from places outside of Earth, places where the beings are advanced and are already doing these practices from a small to a higher ability. We are an older civilization, and so for us, it already exists to a very high degree. It is a process of also releasing the reality, the physical reality, the reality of the body, and coming slowly into the rebirth of being the energy being. And once one lives as a being of energy as we do, then this process flows and becomes easier. That is why we are able to travel from our dimension to yours and create a portal on your world. For we move around the energies like pieces of blocks are moved around into new configurations, into new designs. For everything already exists. It does not need to be searched for. The importance of the mind cannot be emphasized enough. The manner to manipulate the energies is with awareness and directionality. And what do we mean by that? We mean placing your awareness, and once that block, that cube, that stream of energy in whatever form it takes, once it is found, then it is mentally directed in the way that one needs it to be for one's purpose. It is very easy, but at this point in your evolution, it is very hard for you. But we are tonight beginning this process for those of you who have joined us. And tonight's purpose in teaching you the beginnings of this process is that it can be applied to the situation that is occurring between Russia, Ukraine, and your world. And yes, we will be working very much with this, for new energies are created. And when they are created at the beginning, it is like a newborn child. This child has no control over itself. This child will wail, will cry, will quickly be angered, will quickly be sad or happy, will suffer hunger, will suffer satiety, and it will be from one to the other, from one form to the other, from one condition to the next condition in the blink of an eye. And so the birthing of this wave of energy created from this, we use the word, this contact, this connection between the two, is because it did not exist before. It has been birthed. It is new. And it has been introduced to the entire world. So we must begin to work with it so it does not become too out of control. And when energies are created between two enormous forces, and we consider each country a force, and you add to that the force of all the peoples in the world, then we do have an uncontrollable energy that has been birthed. So at this time, please take a moment to, if you are new to us, to give us permission to work with you energetically. And take a moment to also ask for healing for yourself in any area that you feel we could be of service to you. And please take a few breaths slowly in through the nose and out through the mouth. And now we begin. Imagine in front of you a screen. We will be using images and processes that you as human beings are already familiar with. Imagine a large white computer screen in front of you. It is blank and it is white. And there are many cubes forming a square. And these cubes are of different colors. At this time, as Brenda observes these cubes in her mind, they are pink and yellow, but you might see these colors, you might see other colors. But all the cubes form together rows, vertical and horizontal, and create a larger square. And much like your game where there is a form that can be created by moving around each individual square, each individual cube, that is how you will begin tonight to learn how to move around these energies to create something, an energy that is stable, an energy that is grounded. And by creating a stable, grounded energy design, and we will describe what that design should be, you are slowing down and grounding the energy. So the difference between an ungrounded and unstable energy is the difference between the energies of solidity in a mountain versus the energies of groundedness in a newborn. And again, all of you are familiar with that, so we hope this example makes it clear to you. And so working with this newborn energy, we can work to slow it down, we can work to stabilize it so that the best way we can say it, so that sparks are not created, sparks that are released, that are sent out and fall in different parts, and then each spark becomes its own mini version of this larger energy. And I think you understand us when we say that it can reproduce itself and it can send these energies of chaos to other parts of your planet. So tonight, you will go into the portal of your imagination. You shall see yourself standing in front of this computer screen that works by touch. And you shall see this square, this design created of cubes of differing colors. And we would like you to move around the cubes until there is the design of, and this is me, Brenda, speaking, they're showing me the image of a snake, but it's not a snake. It's the design of the wave of what looks like a snake. And at this time, we are using this snake-like design because it is only the first step. The final step will be the circle. We want to bring this energy back upon itself. We want it to be contained. We want it to become peaceful. And the shape of the circle is peace and it is containment. It has no edges, it has no points. But we begin with the first step where we wish to bring this energy, which right now has edges, has points. We want to move around the cubes, and you will see that the number of cubes that are of one color are less than the number of cubes that are the other color. And take the cubes that are one color and slowly move them and replace the ones that are yellow and the ones that are yellow or whatever color they are in your mind. For everyone sees and experiences the energies differently. You will replace each one until you are able to form the shape of the curving snake, Although, again, we use this as an example, the snake has nothing to do with this. It is a wavy, lower wavy form. And so at this time, we ask that you connect to the earth as you picture yourselves standing on Mother Earth. And we suggest that you imagine yourselves standing outside. And the reason why we are not taking you upwards into our dimension is that the work that you are doing must be done on your planet, for this is where this energy has been created, but you will be drawing down through your crown chakras the healing energies from our dimensions. And at this time, you begin to learn the very basics of energy manipulation through this process. And so you are standing on Mother Earth, feel yourself strongly being held firm by the earth beneath your feet, standing up straight. Feel your head, the top of your head, the crown opening up wide. For at this time you are drawing in large, strong currents of energies from us. And imagine these currents as white or golden light coming down from space, coming down from our dimensional space. And you might feel lightheaded, not lightheaded as in sickly or dizzy, just slightly as though you are floating a little bit outside of your body. And allow these energies first to come in through your crown chakra, and allow them to come all the way down through your body acting as a conduit until they reach and touch the ground. And then in your mind's eye, you will be using your hand, your pointer, to touch and move each cube, each square. And take your time. Some of you may find this a little difficult. Some of you may find that moving the squares, they do not move easily, or they move but do not go where you want them to go. It is a part of the learning, the practice. So please begin now, and we shall have more to say at the end of this. At this time, we would like Brenda to share her experience of this practice with you. You may listen and continue to work, or you may stop and continue at another time, for we ask that you do this practice once a day, every day, until our next meeting next Wednesday, for we will be working to temper this energy. Okay, so the travelers asked me to share my experience. Well, I'd like to say that the energies coming down I feel they're very strong. I feel tingling, not quite the top, but a slightly back of my head, a tingling. And I've always felt that when their energies have come down, and very, very, they're stronger energies, they're more direct energies. I also do feel a little loopy. The interesting thing is when I went to move the cubes, when I looked at it, the square that held all the cubes initially when they were talking about it was pink and yellow. And I think actually those were the colors of just normal, balanced, beautiful energies. When I went back to work with it, the cube, I didn't even really see the color of the other cubes, but the cubes that I was meant to move around were this sickly green with this kind of tan speckle to them. And as I moved them, they didn't quite come into a smooth connection with one another. They ended up being staggered so that each cube had edges and points. And so trying to move them into a perfect alignment, they just wouldn't budge. And so I understand why the travelers are asking us to work with them on a daily basis, because at this point, the energies of chaos, the energies of, what can I say, violence, disruption is stronger. And so we all do have to put work into it to create, to manipulate, to move around the energies, smooth them out, and eventually create this beautiful, peaceful circle of containment and of peace. Thank you again for joining me tonight. I look forward to continuing this practice next Wednesday, when hopefully we all come back together again.